Hello and welcome to this workshop. My name is Erleen Tilton. I'm so glad to have you here. We are going to talk about skin safety with nature. And I'm going to share several tips that can maybe help you, hopefully, with the sun, the insects, microbes, and just helping you have some beautiful skin. I do have the worksheet in the chat or in the notes below. So make sure that you go to that and copy that off so that you have it as we go through the workshop, because I think it's really helpful to take notes, and also feel free to take some screenshots of some of these so that you can remember and have a visual of some of the things that I'm talking about. So if you look at all the different products that we use on a daily basis, there are so many. And one of the common threads that all of these things have, they are full of chemicals. The things we clean with, the things we apply on our bodies, the things we drink, then eat. It's amazing how many chemicals are in all of the things that we consume today. In fact, these are recent articles that to me are just mind-boggling. 23 toxic chemicals you come in contact with on a daily basis. Women apply an average of 168 chemicals on their bodies every day. Or even the average woman puts 515 synthetic chemicals on her body every day without knowing. And so it helps us understand that just because it's on the shelf, it doesn't mean it's safe. In fact, the FDA has admitted that there's hundreds of products that come by their desk every day. They don't have time to go through and make sure that they are safe. So it's up to us to do the research and really open our awareness, because it affects us in numerous ways. And what we learn, especially when it comes to our skin, is that beautiful skin starts from within. So what we eat and drink, what we clean with, and what we apply topically and aromatically, all of these things matter. And it really makes a difference for your skin health as well as your overall health. That's where I suggest we trade in the chemicals for essential oils. So I like to put these side by side because I think it's a good visual to see the difference. If you see that chemicals are in a lot of the products to stimulate action, they are catalysts for these products. In the same manner, essential oils are put in a number of products because they stimulate action and act as a catalyst. That if we're choosing pure essential oils, then that's to our benefit, not to our disadvantage. Our chemicals can dispel microbes, so can our essential oils. However, the chemicals are made synthetically, while pure essential oils are extracted from plants found in nature. Our chemicals create side effects. They actually work against our body, and that shows up in our emotions, mental, hormonal, and physical state. Whereas our essential oils support, they can help regenerate, they work with your body emotionally, mentally, hormonally, and physically. And so I think it's really, really important to see that side by side, we can trade in those chemicals for our essential oils. And a lot of what we talk about today will be about that. We can get rid of these and trade them in. First, let's talk about the sun, because we are going to talk about products that go on our skin. So it's important to understand the sun and what we are putting on our skin. I know out there, there's so many well-meaning young moms that love their children and have been told that they need to put sunscreen on every time before they go outside. However, what they don't understand, that can be a huge disadvantage, because vitamin D deficiency is at an all-time high. In fact, a recent report, and I'll show you here in a second, says that 95% of all Americans are vitamin D deficient. Well, we get our vitamin D from the sun. That's our main source. Skin cancer is also at an all-time high. And that's another thing to really be concerned about. So if you look at these charts, you can see the deficiency levels of several vitamins in the red. Vitamin D is the highest. Vitamin E comes in second, and then you can see some other vitamins and minerals that are showing deficient. And on that group on the right, we can see that it's actually our elderly that are more deficient than anything. Why is vitamin D important? Well, its number one purpose is to help increase our calcium absorption. Again, that goes back to our bones and the mineralization. If we have a deficiency, that can impair that. It can actually worsen bone diseases, especially in adults and the elderly. But it also affects muscles as well as our emotions. And so it's so important to understand how important vitamin D is and why we need to make sure and get really good sources of it. So where do we get vitamin D? Well, the number one place that we get it is from the sun, as I mentioned. And we need to make sure that we are having good sunshine every day. Get out in the sun for 15 to 30 minutes without sunscreen. Bring in that sunshine. And it's not just at 6 a.m. when the sun is not very high. We need to be out there during the day. Now, there are other sources like our salmon, cod, tuna, and mushrooms and eggs. And actually, we have several supplements. doTERRA carries a few of those that are great sources of vitamin D, as well as our lifelong vitality. So there are good sources of vitamin D that we can add to and supplement with. So let's talk about skin cancer for just a few seconds. I think it's interesting. This information comes from EWG, which is Environmental Working Group, or ewg.org. You can go there. They are ones that test a lot of products that are out there on the market. And what they noted is that before we started using sunscreens, we had about 8% skin cancer. After we started using sunscreens, it has tripled to almost 24% in 2010. So to me, that number was just staggering. Why has it tripled? It's because of chemicals. Most of what is in the products that you see today is full of unhealthy chemicals. So in knowing this for many, many years, I have avoided all sunscreens, and this has been my, what I call sun skin protection oil. And here's the recipe again, if you want to take a screenshot. It's a great recipe. I've used it for years for before and after the sun. So about 10 years ago, actually 2 of my grandsons came to stay, and they're redheaded. We were invited to go and play at the creek and picnic with another family that was here locally. And I knew that we were going to be out there for several hours. My daughter said, make sure you put on sunscreen. And I said, I don't use sunscreen, so I will put on my sunscreen protection oil. So I made sure and lathered them down. We went out and played in the water for way longer than I had anticipated. And when we were walking back from the creek to the car, I looked at my older grandson and I was just gasped. Oh my gosh, he is red. His mother is going to be so angry at me. So I quickly, right there on the trail, I applied more on him. And by the next morning, we couldn't even see it. He didn't ever peel or have that sunburn. that was a testimony to me how effective this really was. Now, recently, about a year ago, doTERRA has come up with their own sun line products. And I was very leery at first, just to be honest, because I knew that mine worked and I was afraid of what these ingredients were. But I will have to tell you, I am super pleased with the fact that they have really gone overboard to make sure that these are clean ingredients and they work. So last summer, actually, that redheaded grandson and another one of my grandsons, who were about the same age, came and helped us build a fence. And they put on these products every day, and they did not get burned. And I was so happy. You can see that there is two types of sticks, one for face and body and one just for face. There is a lip balm mineral sunscreen. There's a lotion as well as a spray, and then an after sun on the right. So these products are excellent, and I was so happy to find out. Now let's do a little bit of comparison to see what the difference is. Most of them on the market are chemical based, which actually absorb the UV rays. That's why skin cancer has tripled in the last, 35 years. They create the free radicals. Chemicals can stay in the bloodstream, create hormone disruptors and skin allergies. However, doTERRA Sun is mineral-based. It actually reflects the UV rays, provides a broad spectrum protection and restoration. It has the non-nano zinc oxide, which cannot be absorbed into the bloodstream, and other nourishing ingredients, including our essential oils for restoration. So it's actually good for all skin types. It's very nourishing and hydrating, vegan-friendly, cruelty-free, clean green formulas that are free of chemicals and any type of synthetic ingredients. So really happy to be able to know that we have those. Now, next, let's talk about how to protect your skin from insects. Again, there's so many on the market. I remember over the years, or I should say years back, seeing so many repellents that stink. You could tell they were full of chemicals and sticky. They were just uncomfortable and really smelly. And, again, so many reports show how dangerous these are for our skin, our hormones, and our emotions. So this is where I love the things that doTERRA has created. This TerraShield blend, I can put just 3 or 4 drops in it, rub my hands together, and then just kind of pat it down all over my arms and back of my neck, ears, legs, or wherever my skin is exposed before I go outside in my garden. Works really, really well. Now we have the TerraShield Spritzer, which is actually diluted with fractionated coconut oil, and you can just spritz it on. Now, I also have an outdoor blend that I have found works really, really good. So if you're interested in that, you can take a screenshot, but it's actually just the TerraShield. You put it in a 15 ml bottle with a spritzer top, fill it up with water and 12 drops of the TerraShield blend. And it works really, really well as well. So whatever way you do it, this has provided great results. People have been in crowds of people that are used all these other insect repellents, and they use their TerraShield and find better results in repelling the insects. So I love this blend, works really good. So let's talk about microbes, especially hand sanitizers. I know that we want to make sure and dispel the microbes from our hands, but so many reports talk about the hand sanitizer. The chemicals used there are very dangerous for our skin, again, our hormones, our emotions, and our overall health. So there are better tools that doTERRA has created. I love this On Guard spritzer. I carry one in my purse everywhere I go. I carry it in my backpack when I go places where I need my backpack. I have one in my car. And this is my go-to, as well as those little packets on the top. You can buy a box of, I think it's 20 packets. And of course, those are like the little wipes. And it's nice to carry one or two of those in my purse so that when you really want to wipe, just to kind of wash your hands off, these are really great as well. Other people like what's in the middle, which is a hand sanitizing gel, and it works really good. But also on the right, you could make your own as well. And this is another little DIY. Fill this little 15 ml bottle spritzer with water and add 12 drops of our On Guard blend. It doesn't have the alcohol in it, but it is a great sanitizing spray. The thing I like about that one is I've said it's for hands. It's also for dispelling pathogens in the air. You can spritz it in the air, and you can even spritz it in your mouth. So for hands, air, and mouth, it works really good if you do that because, like I said, there's no alcohol or anything with it. So let's talk about how to protect and nourish your skin daily. So we want to make sure and apply things on our skin to protect our skin and nourish. But we don't want to use a lot of the products that are out there on the shelf because most of them are in a base of petroleum oil, which is like rubbing motor oil on your body, and then a bunch of chemicals. The sad thing to me is baby oil. Do you know what baby oil is? Nothing but petroleum oil or mineral oil. Terrible, terrible thing to put on baby's skin. So we can do better, and doTERRA has several products that are actually really good for nourishing your skin. This little white packet you can see with the little spout is kind of the refill packet to go in the hand lotion dispenser. This is the Abode line, and I love that hand lotion. So good. I love to get out of the shower and put it all over my skin. Very good. The one on the right is the rose lotion, and it has rose essential oil in it. So, such a wonderful lotion for repair and regeneration as well. And then we have that body butter, especially when your hands get really dry during the winter. That body butter is so nourishing and replenishing. It where nothing else works, that does. It's really good. And again, we've got really clean ingredients in these. Now let's talk about how to protect your face and hair. Again, so many products out there on the market are full of chemicals, and you absorb all of that in your face and your hair. And we all want to have a beautiful face and hair, but we want to make sure that we're starting with the right ingredients. And I just want to share that I had a friend die just a few years ago who really tried to do everything in a healthy way, but she was using baby powder on her hair as a dry shampoo, kind of. And she actually died from brain cancer. It came on all of a sudden. She had been doing this for years and years and years. It was because of the chemicals in that baby powder. Again, this is for babies. And she died from this. They knew that that was what it was that had caused that. And we can do better. We have products not only for our facial skincare, but also for hair care, hair and body care. doTERRA to the rescue again. These are excellent, excellent products that are chemical free, and they are very careful to make sure that they are just the best of ingredients in their products so that we are not absorbing those unhealthy chemicals. Last but not least, we want to protect your home. Cleaning products are the worst when it comes to chemicals. And we use them, our hands come in contact with them, we get them in the air, we inhale them, breathe them in. And they can be very, very dangerous for, again, our skin, our overall health, our emotions, our hormones. And so we want to be very, very selective when it comes to products for cleaning our home and our environment. And this is where I like the two lines that doTERRA has, the On Guard line and the Abode line. These are just a couple of the items that they have. They have a full scale of these that are so excellent for cleaning. There's products for your dishwasher as well as washing your clothes. So we've got several items that are very good for cleaning. Again, they've gone to great lengths to make sure that they are chemical free and they support our bodies and make sure that there's no negative effects for you and me. And I appreciate that very, very much. So it's time to remove and replace, whether it's in a drawer or a cupboard, or hopefully you've been able to take good notes and some screenshots and are well aware of some of the things that you can do to replace those chemical laden items that you may have in your home and be able to replace them with items that are free of those toxic chemicals that can affect us and do affect us. We don't know that every time that we spray or apply or eat. We can't tell, but it does add up and can affect us later. So I encourage you to start today and take care of your skin in the very best way with doTERRA. There's nothing to lose, everything to win. So you can even get a 25% discount by going to the link that I've shared with you here. Take a screenshot if you need to, and go to that link and start with your own wholesale membership at 25% off and get the products that you need. Let me tell you, there is so much savings in starting in the first place with clean products, inside and out. You will save so much money in the long run when you start with good quality items. So I appreciate you joining me today. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope you have learned something and are committed to do something different for your skin.